What's up, y'all? Educated Yogi here with One Family Investing, where we learn together, we invest together, and we make profit together. I don't have my page up because, as y'all know, who's been following, uh, you know, starting out this, okay? I'm starting out this. I'm giving y'all all the good stuff right now. It ain't gonna look pretty, but it's gonna be nice if you could take advantage of what I'm sharing. So right now, don't have the page because I'm building and we're having some holdbacks on that end. So I'm not gonna get into that just because that's not what we're here for. But if you are interested, just a little thing. Um, I gotta wait to be able to uh, pay for that monthly, pay for this monthly, pay for this monthly, and it all makes sense since certain things isn't making sense right now. I'm holding out on that, but I'm still delivering value through YouTube. So always check in on YouTube, even though it's not, day to day. I'm trying to keep it at least within 3 days per video. I want to get to a day to day place, but we're not there yet. So stay in on YouTube. This is one of the fastest and easiest ways. I'm working on some other stuff in the background. I can't put as many hours as I want in, which is why this is a resource place. If you are coming here right now, you can you can still get a lot of value out of this channel. Not only because what I'm giving, because what I'm giving is value, but then I'm also linking us to other people. Because remember, one family, one family investing. It's a family to me. Even the people who I am referring to, I don't get paid by these people. I don't know these people. They don't know me. And then as we grow the community, those people will start having eyes on us. And then they'll say, man, look at this community. And some people they'll say, hey, I don't like that community. Even when people say that, you know, this is a God loving organization over here. Pray for or be kind to your enemy or pray for your enemy, whatever it's called. I think it's pray for your enemy. So, yeah, we got to be kind necessarily, but we won't be angry at people because this has happened to me. I was in the entertainment industry and I would promote people. And sometimes, if people didn't understand why I was promoting them, they would actually get upset. And it's kind of fascinating because I'm just promoting somebody and I'm not a threat. Or someone would say, you don't have enough value or validation or experience in the industry to be you know, uh, trying to share stuff with people about stuff that you don't know or something like this. So people are going to come, people are going to talk in our life, my life, your life, doesn't matter. But we're one family here. This YouTube is for you. And even if you are an experienced investor, I promise you, you're going to get value from the things that I share here. It's not pretty just because I don't have a team and I don't have all the time that I can dedicate yet. But the value in here is what's important. Okay, so here we go. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit or go a little bit into just like honestly a little update, and then uh, I'm going to share just go over the public account. We I'll show you the internet uh, uh, ICP, where that's doing, how that's doing. Um, so we're going to look at this. We'll look at this right now, which is, percentage is always going up. It's every day, nonstop. No matter what's happening with ICP, I'm getting some type of gains for the next 8 years. So we just started this 81 days ago. For the next 8 years, this is going to go up. And I'll share the stuff later, but, you know, day to day, every single day, no matter what happens, it can go up, down, left, right. Um, so this is where ICP is at. I want to go over this one. Bought four stocks, but he has some interesting stuff that he's talking about in this. And then I want to go over this right here. It's more, at the end, it's a mindset thing. I really appreciate what they're saying. So we're going to take a look at this as well. So without further ado, let's go over the first thing, which is the private portfolio. So, it's the weekend. Everything is looking good. Uh, Nike, I think the last time Genie went up, but Nike's back at top with the profits. And what's funny in Jeremy's account of financial education, Jeremy account, uh, his Nike stock is down right now. And that's one of the things that I was sharing with y'all in a different video, that buying the dip or buying stocks isn't about um, it isn't about what price it's at when we buy it, or it is, but it's the timing. Because sometimes we'll look at the price and we think that, um, because I can't afford it, or because it's too much for me, or it's like it's too little for me, and the suspect, because we do that too to ourselves, right? So it's not about that. The timing matters. I just put in money. I've been profitable since I bought it. So I bought it, and I have a price average, so to speak, is what it's called. Hold on. So what our concern is our price average. Where is it? Price 63.11. Um, so let me click on Nike. So our dollar cost average. So Jeremy has more shares than me, but he's lost money. It's because our dollar cost average, my dollar cost average, or when I bought the stock, I bought it at a dollar cost average that is lower than his. Um, so it's at 62 right now. Yeah, I can't. I don't know where it's showing. I don't know where it has the dollar cost average. Anyways, um, so right now, I just want to say that because sometimes we'll say, "Oh, the price, the price, the price." No, it's about when we buy it. But we'll see that in Jeremy's account. So Nike's doing good, Genie's doing good, SoFi's doing good, STM, and again. So two of the main stocks for the public portfolios is STM. Is We're really counting on this to make some moves, and ICP. So Net is doing good, XYZ. And who knows, these ones might outperform, STM, but that's the point of diversifying, and still, you're just making good picks. Uh, the ETFs still, you know, hey, ARC is getting closer to zero. That's a plus for me. That's a plus in my eyes. Okay. So again, so this was the ICP. ICP, you know, we're not concerned with the price right now with ICP. We just know that we can do certain things with ICP, like put it in a neuron and stake it. So that's what we're just looking at this and being happy about this. ICP, we're not we're not we're not concerned. Like I bought it around $9 or so, but then I bought more when it was less than $5. I think I can't remember, but my average entry. So this is easier to see. There's something that shows your dollar cost average or your average entry. I didn't buy ICP at $6.67. I bought it at two different prices, and then they averaged it out based on how it's moving, how it's moving. So just so you can see that, I hope it wasn't behind. Yeah. Anyways, so there's that. So those are the two big ones that we are counting on, ICP and STM. But man, Nike's looking good, Genie's looking good. We're excited. Um, Bitcoin, yeah, it's gonna be a short video. The longest section is gonna be the watching the videos. So as y'all can see, this is in the area that I drew and I charted out now. Man, I really can't wait until I get into swing trading, y'all. Like, look at this. If y'all go look at I think it's the last video. The last video. I put this down here and I actually marked it and labeled it just so we couldn't mix it up. But swing trade option here, 2 months out will go up to 103. 103,800. It was very specific, and I drew a dotted green line to where that would be at. It's right here, that dotted green line. It went to that dotted green line within a couple days. So once it went up like that, I would have made money. And what's cool, what's cooler is I was thinking about this because I just know me. I know me. I would have if I would have taken more time on this and really uh, made this very specific. I'm sure I would have put a option in for it going, way over here. um, okay, I'm trying to see what's happening with this box, this orange box at the bottom. This thing's moving. I don't get what's happening. Anyways, I'm learning. Uh, so I just want to show y'all that because in the last video, I drew it live, so none of this was here yet. None of this was here yet. And so y'all saw it live, and I'm excited because I know that when I start swing trading now, I have a lot of confidence. There's no way I wouldn't have put in where I saw how much it would have been. That's what we played with in the beginning. Like I could talk all this mess, and that doesn't mean like if I had $100,000, I would have put all $100,000 in it. I'm not that confident yet. You know what I'm saying? What I am confident in is I'm confident in putting a small good amount. Like my risk tolerance is different than your risk tolerance. So whatever percentage, like out of 100%, it's more about that rather than $100,000. Whether I have 100,000 or 100, I'm gonna put in 20%, 30%. You might want to put in 10%, or you might want to put in 50%. But we all have a different tolerance like that with percentage. So the out of the 100, if my risk tolerance is 30%, I'm putting in $30. If it's $100,000, I'm putting in $30,000, and that's the percentage. So for me, I know I would have put in that trade 100%. 100% how things were moving. If you go watch the last video, I went over a little bit detail, but this, this once this move happened, um, I knew that I would make this trade. And again, I go over it in the last video. Okay, so that's okay. Oh yeah, so that's it for that one. And now, oh yeah, and I just wanted to show y'all about the research. It's one of Trap Wall Street Trappers paid situations. I got it for when it was on like discount. It was low. I really actually like this. He goes into details that he doesn't go online, but he has such good stuff on YouTube, anyways. But anyways, I just want to show y'all this just because, like I say, one family. We're here to promote other people. Um, I hope y'all don't leave me, but if you do, I'd rather you leave me for somebody good than somebody who is, not trustworthy or whatever. So Wall Street Trapper, he does have like it's nice. It's nice in here. As you can see, I've completed some stuff. I'm going through some stuff. I haven't paid for some stuff because I'm not I don't want that stuff right now. But what I do have, I'm going through it. I'm telling you, it's nice. You know. Uh, okay, just want to share that just because we here together. We here together. Uh, so ICP going up. It's still going in between the support and resistance lines that I drew. So this last support and resistance back here, um, I think I was here. No. I was here. So it went up, it came down, in one of these last videos. It came down. This that long drop. So depending on how this would have went, I would have came in or out in a certain way. But then look, it went down here, and then it's coming back up, going against to the line, to the support or resistant line now, and then it played there. So it's playing in between the support and resistant line. So now that this new low happened within the next like a couple days, I will put another uh, maybe resistant line here or here, depending on how I go back in time to look. But I will put one here or here, most likely. Most likely here because I want to be the low low, but it don't always work out that way. It works out to where that was just like a little fight for a while, but then the actual su- support or resistant line could be here. Um, so I'm gonna let that play out. So now let's go check out what Jeremy, how he's reacting to some of these videos that he has up. I'm just gonna make my face smaller, and we're gonna switch it up. Take over, Johnny. So he's going to talk about some stocks that are still good. Because I actually want to give y'all something, some other value than just me saying how to research and do all that other stuff. But these are some stocks that he bought. But then he also just gives some picks, um, some picks of what he's been seeing in the market. So let's check this one out. It's this one, not the other one.
So here's some buys. One, AMD. Listen, man, it wasn't that long ago people were making fun of me on AMD stock, right? Because I was down, what was I down in AMD? $50,000, $70,000, $75,000, something like that. It was a pretty big number, right? And now I'm green $15,000 in AMD, just like that, right? That's how fast things can switch in this market. So AMD remains a buy here. I know it's exploded upside, but keep in mind, AMD, we got MI350 coming this summer. Wait till you start to see the numbers around that, and then the excitement and hype that builds. And then we really start to have fun in 2026, because that's when we start MI400 production, right? And as long as that goes well and that goes smooth, just wait to see those numbers. Lisa Su and the team, they've been building toward this moment that we're about to enter into. We're not even in the moment yet. We're about to start to enter the moment, and then things are going to really get exciting in 26 and beyond. So AMD, I don't want to speak too much about it because I did a full super in-depth video 7 days ago here on the channel. If you didn't get the chance to watch that one, watch that video. AMD just changed everything. Trust me, if you care anything about AMD stock, it is well worth it. Well worth it, right? Now, in regards to AMD, remember I just mentioned a moment ago I was down big on that position, right? And now we're up $15,000 just like that, right? Keep in mind, and this is the thing you've got to understand about stocks and being a long-term investor. Quite often, you're going to go down in a position, and there's no shame in it. The only people that have shame in it don't understand the game, right? As a long-term investor, I never have shame about going down in a position short-term. The fact that I was down $50,000 or $70,000, $80,000, whatever it was a month and a week ago on AMD, it means nothing to me. Absolutely nothing, because it's a newer position, right? And I believe it has massive upside over the next few years. And so if you look at the public count in many of my best stocks, keep in mind, I think every single one of them I was down on at some point in time. Palantir I was down on.
So actually, and I want to say something before I say what I'm about to say next, which I'm gonna just say like, look at all these stocks. Look up the percentage that they're up right now, and they were all down. And honestly, like I think all these stocks are pretty good to buy right now. Um, again, not financial advice or anything, but hey, educational purposes. I mean, these are some pretty good damn stocks. Um, so one of the reasons I'm showing Jeremy a lot is because I don't want to confuse y'all about what I talked about before, which is when we're doing research, we're not going to have a lot of time always to just go dive into all the statements and things like that. You want to start somewhere and just start. But eventually, yeah, you want to be the one reading the statements, doing all that yourself because you have to be able to know how to intuitively, you're working on your intuitive muscle. So the one way that I've noticed that I've gotten good at things is because I just keep experimenting with it, and then my intuition kind of takes over, or my gut takes over, which is, I don't always call intuition. That's a different story, but so the gut takes over because you've trained it. Um, Intuition is it's aligned with something else. So yeah, the gut right now, your gut is fearful. Intuition can't be fearful, but your gut can be fearful. So your gut is fearful. It's going like, I don't know if I'm going to go in or not. Intuition just knows. That's a different game. So let's work on what we can work on, which is that fearful feeling. That fearful feeling, we can get over that just by diving into stuff. So one of the things I shared was is no matter how much people I share, find one or two people that you like and just really focus on them. Don't be like, oh well, Yogi shared this person, Yogi shared this person. Again, I do a lot of that because I've always had this in my as a my nature, which is being able to go out and consume information, a lot of information, then share it with people. But then I don't just share everything with everybody. Depending on who I talk with, I share certain things. But now this is a network, so everything's going to be here. So it's going to be up to you to not to watch everything and go deep in everything. You want to watch everything, please do. But then you want to pick one or two people that you're going to go off on and like stay and follow, if that makes sense. If that's needed for you, because a lot of what I'm doing right now is I'm using other people's research and stuff. So yeah, follow other people like that, or just follow what I share from the people. But um, a lot of the stuff that Jeremy's saying is actually cross-referenced with a lot of people who I'm not sharing with y'all. So, when he says AMD, AMD isn't just talked about by him. You know, so many people I follow talk about them. So everything that Jeremy's talking about, the reason I keep going to him is not only because he's the one or two people that I chose to follow, but then the other people I'm showing, it's so many cross references that I'm going to share those people too. And again, I feel like they have some decency in their heart. Whether they're right, wrong, I don't fool with all that. They have decency in their heart and they're sincere. I'm going to be sharing people with different views on stuff as well. So, okay. Anyways, want to share that because I share Jeremy a lot. It's like why he think he always right. I don't. I think I think I'm good at doing research on stuff and knowing what's going to happen with things based off of everything coming together and being cross referenced. But I'm only sharing with y'all bits because I don't want these videos to be so long. So, anyways, let's keep going.
Elf, I was down on that. Meta, I was down significantly, even several years after I had started my initial position. If you look at where the stock went to in 2022 and that shocking fall all the way to $88 a share, and load the boat on that stock. So, you know, I could have freaked out on Palantir when I went down at first and I missed out on 1,600% gain. Oh, and let's not forget the stock I made ridiculous sums of money on that I don't own anymore, right? I was down big on Tesla back in the day. I was down big. Initially, that first, like, I say, 6 to 12 months that I first started buying Tesla, I was down big. I think I was a point I was down 20 or 30% on Tesla. It was ugly, right? I was getting trolled left and right, which is very funny because I got trolled for buying Tesla and then I got trolled for selling Tesla, which is quite interesting, right? It's like you can't win. You get trolled either way, right? And people make fun of you, and it's like, dude, like, I just care about the money, right? But anyways, do whatever makes you feel good, but it's about the money. And then, do we not understand this game? But Tesla was down big on.
Yeah, and he went out of Tesla, and yeah, that's one of the things. I mean, if I was him, man, I would have been like, bro, man, don't sell Tesla right now, too. I would have said it at that time just because I saw the time he was doing it, and that's one of those things. We're always not gonna not agree. Like we don't disagree. Like we can make our own choices. He has a whole portfolio, but man, he sold it. He sold all his Teslas when it was just a month or two ago, and it just bounced up $120. So just imagine how much more he would have been up and then took profit. But if we keep doing that, that's the whole thing. If we do that, we're not actually going to take profit. We'll be like, man, I want to see what it does. But then what if it tanks and now you're mad, right? So it was good that he took profit, and his portfolios are still nice. But that's one of the times when I saw when he got rid of them, and I was like, Jeremy, no, just wait a couple more months, you know. So, anyways, so there's that. Those three picks. I think it was AMD. What was the three dang stocks? AMD. Um, did he say all three of them? Oh, not yet. Oh yeah. So Honey, I think Honey or Honest, sorry, and Elf. I'm going too fast. So AMD, Elf, and Honest Company. Okay.
Is Elf Beauty. Elf remains a huge buy. We're up massively, obviously, on this stock in the public count, up 959%. I actually started some positions back in kind of that March, April timeframe in some other portfolios as well, which I'm very happy about. But, Elf remains a buy. It's at $77 a share. I know it's come back a lot from where it was, even in the latest quarter. Still never missed. Elf remains a buy. It's at $77 a share. How many companies can
talking about Elf's revenue? They haven't missed for like the last decade, he was saying, and they missed one, and it was down like 2 cents. So it was like nothing. So Elf, AMD, and the Honest Company. Yeah, I'm doing this because I really don't like keeping y'all longer than I have to. What's happening here? Everything was going so fine, and now I can't do anything. Yeah, and it's best for me to wait because if I try something, um, it can go bad. Okay, there it is. Okay, so I just want to show y'all. Oh, here it is. Okay, and Honest Company, HNST.
just about any company, never mind small caps, it's Honest. Their last quarter was insane. And I spoke about Honest in this video I did 5 days ago, top 3 best stocks to buy under $15. I want to give you guys kind of a cheap one there, like, $5 stock that I think is going to be $10 by the end of this year, right? Now, here's a
Okay, so that's it for that video. So uh, those are 3 stocks that are good right now to buy. And then you saw his portfolio. I'm going to share a link in the description so you can check that out in detail if you want. But I'm trying to take off the meat, and y'all can go man deeper if you want with them, or just stay with me. And I'm not doing or saying nothing that I wouldn't do or believe in. Okay, so here I wanted to share this because it's coming from how the public is. Actually, no, this is just some good advice or some good thinking. Let's
in
take
common. Alrighty, let's get into Tom Lee.
And joins us now from Miami. It's good to see you as always. How's that possible? How's the risk reward better now than then?
Scott, I think when we go back to February when the market was at all-time highs, we have to keep in mind we had a lot of uncertainties ahead of us, and we weren't necessarily looking at 2026. The tariff visibility is much better today than it was 3 months ago. And when we look at 2026, I think that there are things to look forward to, such as deregulation, tax cuts, and actually a Fed that's on hold now, but probably doing more cuts now in 2026. And then from a
So what he said there, very important right off the bat. Okay, listen, we have something big coming for the market, and it is tax cuts. If that tax cut plan goes into effect, somewhat what we're looking at, very bullish on the U.S. consumer, the U.S. economy in 2026, 2027, 2028. It matters even more for 27 and 28 than 26, but it matters for 26 as well. What I have seen in regards to the proposed tax changes very bullish the consumer, very bullish the middle class. At the end of the day, to put it as simple as possible, if that goes through somewhat, they get that through somewhat like it is right now, as far as that plan goes, I'm telling you, like, it's just more money in people's pockets. That's the best way I can put it. Now, is it going to be great for the deficit? It might not be. But do keep in mind, if the consumer has more money, what does the consumer go out and do? They go out and spend the money, right? And so that could, there's ways the government gets money back, right, on taxes that everybody buys. If people are spending more money to other businesses, businesses make more money. Those businesses pay more taxes. So, a lot of times you could see it as a negative of like, okay, tax cuts, you're going to give tax cuts to the masses, right? Well, it's going to mean less government revenue coming in. Technically, yes, but people then goes out and spend that money, and then businesses make more money, and then they have to end up paying more taxes, right? Because they're making more money. Think of it this way, like if no one made money, the government would never make any money because there would be no tax revenue, right? Like if we all had incomes of zero, how much revenue is the government going to make off of us? Zero. Their income tax budget would be $0. They would receive $0 if we all made $0, right? So the more money people make, the more money businesses make, the more they end up paying in taxes. The better off they are, and the more money the government gets, right?
Perspective. Companies survived, I think, a black swan event. That waterfall decline in equities and the sort of the near heart attack of the economy still was an environment where companies produced earnings that beat expectations.
Sure.
So this is the fifth stress test for businesses. When I put all that together, I think PE's probably going to be higher in 6 months than lower.
Whoa, PE higher in 6 months. So he says better risk reward now than in February. This is what he's been talking about. He makes a pretty decent point there, right? Because you think back to then, we still had to go through all the crazy tariff drama that we knew was coming, right? Now it's like that stuff's kind of slowly wrapping up, right? Which is bullish. We had fear around earnings. That's been alleviated now that we've seen all these company numbers, right? And then we got the guidance. Earnings risk is kind of taken off the market now. So from that perspective, yeah, true. Tariff visibility far better and risk are lower. Now, yes. I will say, obviously a lot of that's mitigated over the past, I would say, pretty much the last 4 or 5 weeks. And then more cash on the side. Oh my gosh, there's loads and loads and piles of cash on the sideline. And if you want me to tell you what's it going to take to get more of that money into the market, I'll tell you exactly what it's going to take. The market does better and better. As simple as that. The better and better the stock market does, the more that people that are on the sideline start to look at the market and they're like, what am I doing? I have my money in treasuries, getting me 3-4%, whatever the number is, right?
Okay, I'm gonna just stop here because I want to get to the last video here, but I like how, well, to me, it turns out to be simple. I don't know for you if you're, when you're following this, but basically, there's less fear in the market. I showed again last video. Please check it out. But there's less fear in the market. Consumers are more bullish. That means the market is more bullish. That means why are they saying what they're saying about it's less risk, and there's more, I guess, openness in a way to say that it's with the tariffs. How are these tax cuts going to cut? Well, it's kind of, being an entertainer, I can get trapped in my own head thinking like, did I do good enough? Did I do good enough? I'm an actor, so when I jump on stage, or jumping on stage because it's live. When I jump on stage, I know I messed up on something. I could be in my head about it, and then I get off stage and I bring that energy, like, man, I'm sorry, I messed up. And then a person would come to me and say, you didn't mess up at all. I really like what you did. That's like the market. Like, we can't decide if we're good. We got to let our audience do it. So just like that, as investors, we got to let consumers decide what is really happening. We don't decide what's happening. We're just reading the data and following a system that we know we can follow. So the consumers are bullish. Who cares what if we're in fear? The market is not fearful. The VIX, that's the thing that says when it's more bearish or bullish, fear or not fear. So the VIX is at a place even that it's saying it's low. So what's going to change it? A better economy. It looks like not like people spending more. It looks like that's going to happen. So I just want to say that. So this last video, and then we're going to be out. And I hope you're getting stuff from this. if you are here, that's crazy to me because I feel like this has been long. I have no timer with this one. I don't know how long it's been, but I feel like it's been long. And if you're still here, appreciate you. If you can like, if you can subscribe, if you got anything from this, that'd be dope. I'm trying to reach 50 subscribers because then I can start live streaming, and I really would love to do that. Um, I can do this on the go rather than feel like I need to pause and just let it be in the ether. Uh, but yeah, like, subscribe if you can. Here we go to the last video. Now, this last video, um, I just was watching a little bit of it, and I just like how they were talking. So this is like just stuff I watch every once in a while because I want to see, you know, how my people is thinking about this stuff because I still look at it like that sometimes. But it's really a mindset. It's not my people. It's all of us. It's all people. But I do have a I feel some type of responsibility. So I make sure I still check on the minority, what's known as the minority. I think if we all ain't got no money, that's the minority. It's the if you want to put that, but under God's kingdom, nobody's minority. Everybody has a role and a position, and that's what I follow. But we're not going to go into that right now. So let's get into this video. Let's pay attention and listen to what these men are saying and listen to how their mentality is. Again, if you made it this far, it's good. This is like a bonus end to where you could just see the type of stuff that I'm consuming sometimes to not only learn about the market and things like that, because they're talking about the market. This dude right here, he's an investor. So he's about to talk about how to invest. And he's about to give some dope knowledge. But they also put it like a mentality mindset rather than just here's some advice. So yeah, let's check it out.
What does that do? That means that I can go on a small time frame in the ES or in the futures market, which is probably 5 or 10 minutes, 15 minutes out my day, and find a great move that's suitable for me to close my account and say I made enough money for today because of the fact that it moves in spurts in such a small time frame.
Do you think people should paper trade first before they get into real trading?
No, I think paper trading is an illusion, and I think that teaches you to lose your money. Because what happens is there's no such thing as a fake trade, right? It's one thing to be paper trading, and then you off somebody call your phone, you go to the refrigerator, go to the bathroom. But if you knew that was real money, you wouldn't be moving like that. Because as you see that price moving, especially if you don't have knowledge of what's going on, you're super nervous. Hey, listen, if somebody's holding a blank gun, a gun with blanks out at you, and a gun with and a real gun, you know which one feels real because you know in your mind which one is real. So it's the same thing with paper trading. See, when Thinkorswim created that, they created ways for people to give their money over to the market. Every time you're trading, you're on the other side of somebody. Somebody believes that the price is going up and you believe it's going down, or vice versa. So it's the same thing. We're up against the machine. The machine don't want to help us. There's nothing they're saying on the news that's of your benefit. Because first of all, anything they're saying on the news is like 3 months news. That's going to affect you later. That's 3 months down the line. Companies operate in quarters. They report profits in quarters. Sometimes they come on prematurely and tell you things to manipulate the market, but that's not what moves the market. What moves the market is buying and selling. And the buying and selling coming from the top half of the owners of the market. And who is that? BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, Fidelity. These huge financial investment firms, JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, they are the ones who own all the shares on the US stock market. They own 70% of the shares on the US stock market. And I think the US stock market is currently valued at about 60, 70 trillion dollars, if I'm not mistaken. So they're owning 70, 80% of this value. So the whole point is for us.
And that's the other thing. We're watching this because like they're giving little research nuggets that we could use in our advantage. But then it's just good to know. It's like if yeah, if we want to know if we want to know something now and the future is something, we got to look at the past. So they give stuff of like, okay, well, this is what's happening. This is this, like those numbers, those percentages. This is BlackRock. They own 70%. It's this many trillion. Like we don't always hear that, but these are people in the game, and um, yeah, let's keep going. Obviously, if you're a good researcher, you can fact check these things, But sometimes we're on a move and we want to bit like yeah. So that's something I would consider fact checking, but that's not something like how many trillions they own and how much percentage they own. I wouldn't want to go fact check something like that because it's not making a big difference whether that's true or not in my life, in my investing. And it's not making that big of a difference in yours unless you're doing like big numbers, what they can compete with. So, so we'll keep going. But that's such a good point of what he's saying.
Real gun, you know which one feels real.
Yeah, even that with the paper trading. I mean, y'all see what I just said about ICP and Bitcoin, and like I will put in here. So this is called paper. This is called paper trading in a sense, like simulation trading. But paper trading, you actually seeing what you put in, and you get all excited. I'm just learning how to read charts. But in a sense, what he said was I wouldn't have the same type of confidence if this was real. But I said that, right? Like I know I'm not sitting here saying acting like I would have put in 100,000. I would have put in the full percent right now. Maybe not. I would look at it. I would do that because like when you do put real money, I mean, I probably I would have came back here every day until that mug went to that green line, like every day for an hour or two, minimum, but up to 2 to 3 hours probably, and that's a good chunk out of your day just watching the chart. So, sure, I probably would have did that with my first time and with money, right? So that's what he's saying. So that was good too.
Because you know in your mind which one is real. So it's the same thing with paper trading. See, when Thinkorswim created that, they created ways for people to give their money over to the market. Every time you're trading, you're on the other side of somebody. Somebody believes that the price is going up and you believe it's going down, or vice versa. So it's the same thing. We're up against the machine. The machine don't want to help us. There's nothing they're saying on the news that's of your benefit.
Mm.
Because first of all, anything that's saying on the news is like 3 months news. That's going to affect you later. That's 3 months down the line. Companies operate in quarters. They report profits in quarters. Sometimes they come on prematurely and tell you things to manipulate the market, but that's not what moves the market. What moves the market is buying and selling. And the buying and selling coming from the top half of the owners of the market. And who is that? BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, Fidelity. These huge financial investment firms, JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, they are the ones who own all the shares on the US stock market. They own 70% of the shares on the US stock market. And I think the US stock market is currently valued at about 60, 70 trillion dollars, if I'm not mistaken. So they're owning 70, 80% of this value. So the whole point is for us to get hip to this information and start pretty much shifting that number, shifting that ratio. How do we shift that ratio? How do we bring it down? By us owning some, by us becoming hip to what's going on, by us buying what they buy when they buy it and selling it when they sell it.
So what are the best websites you use to get your real-time information? I know they got stuff like Forex Factory and things of that nature.
So you can use TradingView. That's the best one. And they actually, so the thing about it is this. The stock market or trading is not a guessing game. It's based on a skill set. And that skill set is called reading charts. So we read a stock's chart to see or gauge where the price can or cannot go. And then we strategize around that.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? So when you talk about real-time data, that was a good question. So what you're talking about is being able to watch charts right now so you can make a move, because if not, you're lagging and you're 5 minutes behind,
Hmm.
maybe in the wrong trade. So TradingView is a great platform for that because they not only allow you to chart, but they only charge you like $5 a month or maybe $12 a month to access the real-time data, which is what you need as a trader. And that's the thing, man. That's a good question you asked, man. Trading is definitely a skill that I think young people should develop. I think if you suffer from any attention deficit syndrome type thing, I think it's great for you. It was great for me, you know. And not to mention, man, it gives you the freedom and the power to pretty much do what you want. You pretty much trading for your time back. You see what I'm saying? Because we do so many things. What has it been a fight for from the beginning to find faster ways to do things? Imagine if we ain't have a car. I mean, I think we lived longer then when it took us longer to do things because naturally we weren't violating the laws of life, right? If we gotta freaking walk over here and do this, maybe we gotta go through that to be who we are. Maybe we live longer. But when you create the car and now you're getting there much easier, you drove for 2 hours, but it's bad on your back, it's bad on your neck, right? And then you got lazy. So mentally, maybe our ability to speed up processes is really slowing us down and killing us. My man said, maybe if you slow down, you'll actually go faster,
Hmm.
you know?
I think that that's true actually, because I think you become more centered and I think you become more thoughtful in your actions,
Yeah, definitely.
right? And the better the thought, right?
Yeah,
It's not about how can I work the hardest, because when you think about energy, like the more energy you apply to something, more energy is coming back to
exactly.
you, right? So that's not the way you actually want to make your progress. When you think about a quantum leap, it's not saying that I want to go step by step by step by step, because it's saying that I want to shift right
Yeah,
all the way right here into where I need to be.
yeah.
Now that goes against linear thinking models that we are taught,
Hmm.
right? And the reality of it is that no, I don't want to go from step by step by step. And we can't afford to go in that
Exactly.
matter,
We can, bro.
right? So, we're taught not to skip steps, but in a certain way of thinking in life, you want to skip steps.
But is it a skip or is it an actual you knowing it, or
Well, it's number one, destroying this belief, and it's like you talked about the system. You can't beat the system. That's an idea that becomes a reality, right? You
Mhm.
repeat it over and over, and it becomes this living thing
No,
that you
actually, I
now have
said
to
in order for
defeat,
you to beat it, you have to understand it.
right? But a lot of people have it in their mind. You
You
can't
can't
beat it.
beat it. Yeah.
So that becomes a thing that you're fighting
And
against,
not only that, it's the cause of all their problems too.
right? It's your beliefs that you're fighting
I
against.
can't beat the system. It's the cause of my problems. So what do that lead me to doing?
And so instead, what you would need to do is just create a whole new thinking to live by,
Yeah.
right? So I'm not fighting against the friction of this idea that I'm going against,
Yeah.
right? Instead, of one of the biggest ways that people can transform their life is just believing that they already there, right? And reverse engineering catching up to that. That's what confidence is. Confidence places you in the shift already,
Hmm.
right? When you have the confidence of a wealthy man, you're energetically already wealthy,
Yeah.
right? The universe just starts to respond and align everything up to where you at energetically and subconsciously.
Yeah.
The hardest thing to change is your belief, because it's so hard, and as far as the way you think you need to do things, because that's how you were taught.
Bro, that's what we were just talking about with the optimism when we get home. My hardest fight, don't get me wrong, the federal law consists of 10 million words, and most of which are Latin, right? And not words that we use every day. They have a Black Laws Dictionary, and those words are specifically for that, for the law, right? With that being said, bro, that was the hardest part of my fight was waking up in the morning and fighting off the disbelief. The hardest part was waking up in the morning saying, it don't cost you nothing to say you coming home.
Mm,
And to really know it.
mm,
Hell with believing, you know it. So
mm.
people used to be like, yo, San, I'm praying for you. Yo, San, I hope. And I used to stop them in mid sentence. I used to be like, yo, you know who needs your hope? Kids in Africa. Starving kids that can't help themselves. Handicaps. That's who needs your hope and prayers. I appreciate it. But this one's on me. Because you know why? My decisions led me here. So accountability is a spirituality. It's not a characteristic. Like I tell people, it's a trait. And that's why most people can't amass that.
Yo, he just said accountability is spirituality. Now, if y'all don't know this, the yogi part comes from a spiritual understanding. Yo, that's kind of deep right there. Accountability is a spirituality. Most people fear accountability, and that actually holds us back. And what's crazier is like we don't always know it. We don't look at it like that. We think we are accountable, and it's so crazy how our mind can actually trick us. Yeah, that was deep. Okay. Anyways, we keep going.
And that's why we're so lacking of accountability of our situation. That's why, like I tell people, so Accountability is a spirituality. It's not a characteristic. Like I tell people, it's a trait. And that's why most people can't amass that. And that's why we're so lacking of accountability of our situation that it leads us to resorting to the only thing we have, emotions.
Mm.
Emotions.
Which makes it easy to control and direct.
Exactly.
Peace, family. It's two things that you need right
That
now
was it.
in order to win in life
All right.
or to make.
That was it. Well, I'm gonna put both of these videos in the description. I appreciate y'all for being here. If you made it this far, you are a super trooper, and I really appreciate it. This is One Family Investing again, Uneducated Yogi. 50 subscribers. That's all we're trying to get to. Hey, we learn here, we invest here, and we make profits. Um, I'm moving my journey. I'm gonna be slowly getting into uh, uh, options, whether it be day trading or swing trading. But either way, it's coming. So profit's going to be at a different speed. But as y'all already seen in the portfolios, even Robinhood, my private portfolio, it's not doing too bad. It's not doing too bad. Um, the the public portfolio says 68 down here. Let's see if it changed. Um, you know, it's holding steady. It's holding fast. So we're almost actually we're I think overall we're over even. But anyways, no we're not. Okay. Anyways, we're almost close to even, but as an overall, but it's only gonna get better. It's only gonna get better in time. Investments are like wine; they only get better with time. All right, y'all. Well, I appreciate y'all. Have a good day. Love. Peace.